Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is that normal thing that turns you off during sex? Honestly, when the bed squeaks or makes too much noise. Edit, I did not expect this to be my most upvoted anything, this is crazy. Hi mom. Hotel headboard banging against the wall, sorry my neighbor next door. He rolled with delight. And a bump and a cry. A bump in the night. And a bump with a sigh. A bump in his bump. With a bumping of fun. A bump, bumpy bump. Bumpy bump. Yeah, I'm done. Dated a girl whose bed hung from the ceiling by chains, which was usually fine, but if you're banging it was possible to hit the resonance frequency of the chains and shake the entire house, with her family in it. When the house is a rocky, don't come a cocky. That's fucking hilarious. Possibly embarrassing, maybe structurally compromising to the house, over time, but hilarious. Thinking. Is she enjoying this? What position next? Slow down or it's over. I should get her a towel. Something I've learned, from too much Askreddit, is that saying the words "come for me baby" is enough to send anyone into a mental spiral of trying to figure out how to make that happen, to the point that even the most premature guy won't be able to finish anytime soon. And the opposite is also true. Right there. Don't stop. Keep doing exactly that. Me, sploosh. Come for me baby. Aspect ratio changes. So, you're saying that if I want to last longer, I just have to ask her to ask me to come for her. Fake moaning. When it's real it's great, but when you can tell it's fake, it's the worst. Oosh ha heeg. Walla 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 bing bang. The girl I lost my virginity to had the over-dramatic porn star moans. Like, bitch, this is my first time, I know it ain't that good. Edit, thanks for the award. I need a hug after that memory. I'm an Airbnb host renting out my downstairs unit. Every once in a while we'll have a couple, usually young, come in and have very loud sex, complete with fake moans. It's the furthest thing from sexy, and we usually find it pretty funny. The funny thing is that real moans are easily definable by the fact that they are irregular. Real moans aren't just a ha on repeat for 20 minutes. They fluctuate as the breathing changes in rapidity, muscle contractions make these changes. And your partner loses thought of their breathing and sounds. Too much heat. I don't want things steamy, I want things nice and room temperature where I can still be comfortable. As someone that sweats buckets, way too easy, cooler is better. We can make our own heat, thank you. I dunno, two sweaty bodies can make some interesting strangle trombone noises when they get all pressed up against each other. Kinda funny. Bright overhead lighting. I'm fine with lights on, but especially if I'm in a position where I'm staring at the ceiling it's just hard to focus with a bright ass light in my eyes. A lamp is fine. Like a surgery room. Fun. People fuck in those too, you know. I've seen it on Pornhub, so it must be true. Seeing my stomach rolls when my legs are behind my head. Mayo. Edit, so many people are replying to this going on about my flexibility. In reality, I just have joint hypermobility syndrome. Sometimes, when you want the D to hit the right spot, disability has got your back B. Everyone's stomach does that in that position, lol, guys don't give it a second thought. Good on your flexibility though. I don't know. As a guy I'm pretty self-conscious too when my legs are behind my head. If you are flexible enough to put your legs behind your head, he does not care about stomach rolls. Or if he's literally fucking you, I think you're good. I'm not sure if this is normal, or if I've just been unfortunate enough to have it happen multiple times. But when you're hooking up with a guy, and he's rubbing what he thinks is your clit, but in actuality is nowhere near it, so you just move his hand to the correct spot and he says, "That was too much for you to handle, huh?" In such a cocky voice. It's the biggest turn off. God, I hate this too. Like, bitch, no, I just don't like my pelvic bone fingered to hell and back. One time a guy was trying to tease me through my pants while we were Netflix and chilling, but he kept trying to finger the spot between my vulva and thigh. I felt so fat and embarrassed I didn't even say anything. I cringed so fucking hard. Yuck. Are you all the way in? I ran out of dick 2 inches ago. You don't have enough pages for that move. The weird gurgle your stomach does after you drink something before the act. You start thrusting and it sounds like liquid sloshing around in a half-empty barrel. Lol, I laughed hard at this. Remember as a kid when you first discovered that by jumping up and down? I watched my 2-year-old discover his belly sloshing yesterday. He enjoyed it greatly. Ejaculation. I'm a guy and once that happens, it's pretty much over for me. It's crazy, it's like there's a little switch in your head that flips instantaneously to oh sex. Who needs it, not interested. Then 10 minutes later it's like NVM interested again. It's like a cool down timer in a video game. I really hate it when someone squeezes my tits to the point that it fucking hurts. Like dude, stop that, that's not pleasurable at all. Had a guy treat mine like turntables or something, just smashed them flat and then twisted like Yo Karate Kid, what the fuck. Wax on, wax off your nipples apparently. That's just bad behavior. Give their balloons a squeeze and say hey stop that or I'll squeeze harder. Don't threaten me with a good time. Making me call him daddy when I had a perfectly good childhood with my father. On the flip side, I'm a guy with a daughter who calls me daddy. Which makes it an absolute instant turn off in sex or porn. I'm a guy with no kids at all, and it's an instant turn off for me, too. Blech. Getting hot. This is one of the issues I have during sex for real. In summer, I need a fan/account to blow on me directly or I will overheat after 10 minutes and cannot continue. 10 minutes. Take a look at this stud over here, guys. It's become normalized but zero foreplay. Like, can I get wet before taking your dick, sir? My husband religiously preheats the oven until the indicator light goes off before putting in the pizza rolls, but by hell he seems to think 29 seconds of foreplay is sufficient. I love this man dearly, but damn. I totally thought the entire first half was an innuendo and you were bragging about your husband. Had me in the first half. Edit, I thought you were calling your vagina the oven and his penis the pizza rolls. During. That's a hard one. Maybe like kids waking up and crying. The knock of doom. If that verbal exchange through the door lasts more than 3.7 seconds, my penis stops working for the next 3 hours. Your subconscious was like, oh yeah, sometimes banging my wife makes little human beings to feed. Let's think about this a bit before we continue. Very wise. Meanwhile my dumb ass is holding the door closed with one leg while I shout at the kids to leave us alone. We aren't stopping just because the doomspore have come to bargain. I had a terrible experience. It was post-bang, we were just cuddling, typical arm around her type deal. Her kid came in, had a bad dream. We probably woke her up, but I didn't know she had a kid. Kid crawled into bed. Her mom was closest to the door so she didn't see me. No big deal. I was super tense and the girl told me not to worry, she'll take her to bed when she falls asleep. I ended up falling asleep. Woke up to a kid squeezing my hand and I was petrified. Not sure why, but all I could think about after was how this poor kid's life is. Random dudes coming over and not realizing what's going on. That was almost 2 years ago in November. I have not had sex since. I mean, this just raises questions about what led to that moment. Like, did y'all go out and then come back to her place? Was the kid left unattended that whole time, or was there a babysitter that somehow you didn't witness? If the whole time was at hers, did you just show up after dark and go straight to Bajai? Context is needed here for how you didn't know there was a child in the building old enough to walk and talk. When she isn't really engaged, like just doing it for me. Does she really think that I just want to use her body like a sex doll? I can't keep going if the other person isn't engaged. I just don't want to, it doesn't feel good anymore, that's stop time. How common this is, but I've had several women be really shocked about that. They didn't feel like they could just not want to anymore and have it be okay to stop. Which makes me feel like, this is how women are saying to stop. At least in my experience it's easy to feel pressured into doing it just to get it over with so the guy will be pleased and stop asking, because I feel guilty. Yes. People call it starfishing, but it's really obliging to sex you didn't really want to have, so you're not into it and getting nothing out of it and want it to be over. Lol, kicked a girl out for that. Girl I knew in college talked a huge game while we were flirting, then just didn't move when we fucked and had the audacity to tell me I didn't know what I was doing. I laughed and kicked her out. You don't know what you're doing, that's the wrong hole. I'm just trying something. That's Maya. Sometimes when he sees I'm just about to orgasm he speeds up and goes harder and faster, but the rhythm was just right as it was and I needed him to not do anything differently at that point. Tell him. Change what you are doing. Keep it exactly the same. I'm gonna see you. We need explicit directions. Maintain present course and speed, helmsman. The cat wanting to snuggle or play. Like, can you please not? Just hope the cat isn't swinging at your beanbag like it's a toy.